relatively possible to increase production by some proactive management. Instead, like everything else, they're getting beaten down by overharvest. And so not only are fishermen taking them in traps and snorkeling, but they're using hookah now to dive deeper to get them.
Okay.
And it's a very dangerous form of fishing because these are not like trained divers using professional hookah equipment. Well, we've done a lot of work on lobsters, which I think you could increase the production fairly well. We've done a lot of work on groupers, and I think the grouper population is much less than what it used to be. But the only way to get it back is to not take them so much. To get the groupers back, you have to give them some space to grow. A big Nassau grouper could be like this, and the production of eggs of a female like this versus like that is hugely different. So one of the places in the Bahamas that's spectacular diving is a place called the Land and Sea Park. With the exception of the lobster, those fisheries like conch and grouper, we know what to do to bring them back, but we got to do it, and it means that you've got to leave them alone a little bit. I don't see a possibility across the board that you could have all sustainable food coming from just wild catch in the ocean. There's just too many people. Not just the people who live here, but the tourists coming in. It's a very high-end recreational activity for people who have a lot of disposable income usually. The guides make a lot of money. They do very, very well. So I don't see in the near term, except for perhaps spotted lobster and some aquaculture, that's saltwater-based aquaculture, I don't see a mega increase in food fish in the near future unless we really tighten down. But the reason to do that is also for tourism. And if they started doing what they did in the Land and Sea Park, they'd have the dual benefits of that. I mean, if you were really going to have a fish policy about sustainable use, in this country, you'd probably focus on giving highest priority to people who lived in remote areas and had subsistence fishing going on. And one of the issues I've been promoting is we need to bring the biologists in, but also the fishermen in, and just talk together about what's happening and so forth. Most of the fishermen in the Bahamas are not solely doing fishing. They're not like commercial fishermen in Spain or the United States or whatever. They do fishing in one part of their lives, and then they go build houses in another part, or whatever they can do. And that kind of tourism is very competitive in the Caribbean and the world. And this is not a great place to come. If you were a knowledgeable scuba diver, you wouldn't elect to come here. In the 10 to 20 year scheme of things, having those no-take reserves, like at the Land and Sea Park, is a major way to ensure two things. It's a major way to ensure that people who want to come here and do snorkeling or diving have superb opportunities to do so. And that's a tourism aspect, but those types of reserves worldwide are increasingly being used as fishery management tools. Because if you basically, animals get bigger in those reserves. When they're bigger, they have higher production, more reproduction, and also when as the reserve matures, they are sources of new animals, including juveniles, that leave the reserve and go to other places. You get good tourism because you have lots of fish, and divers when you dive in I hardly ever want to go to the Mediterranean.